Hello, this is Kevin with Bangert Inc. Today's session is going to be on the Sage Estimating Release 23 that just came out. And this is a feature that we're going to look at that actually allows you to validate data that's being put into your cover page. So in the past, when you've used Estimator, project types, user-defined fields, there wasn't any validation. Somebody could put in any type of thing that they want, whether it was really correct or not. So like for example, somebody could spell an estimator's name wrong, or maybe I've got a very meticulous project type that I want to build that someone spells school one way and someone else spells a little different on a project and so forth. So then it messes up my reports where it's difficult to report on that information if it's not consistent. So in this, we're going to take a look at how do I set those lists up and call fields of what I want to call them and some of those type of things. I'm going to start with opening up Management Console. And under Management Console, I'm going to go up to the top here so I can look at my databases. And I've got me this version 23 database, which is going to be where I'm going to talk about these changes. So on this database, I've got this version 23 where we're going to talk about how to actually go in and edit these. Up here's where I can click on Edit. That would actually let me go in and make modifications. You might see a message up here that says your database is checked out with Database Editor, so you might have to go into Database Editor and check your database back in before you can edit it. In my case, I'm clear, so I'm going to go ahead and edit. And I can see down here, I've got a project type, an estimator, where I can now define what that list is going to actually look like. So I'm going to click on Define List for my project types. And this is where I can build what different types do I want to see. It's maybe, I don't know, hotels. And you get kind of the general idea there. So I could basically go off, and the main purpose here is I'm building consistency because this is going to be a list that estimators will see when they build estimates, that they'll have to stick to something that's on this list so I can really keep things consistent so I don't have to worry about, did someone spell it uppercase or lowercase or something different? To my knowledge so far, there's no limit to how many can be put in here. So you can put in a pretty good sized list of whatever you want those different project types to be. In my case, I'm going to hit OK to accept it. I'm going to come down here to Define List, and I'm going to do the same concept with Estimator. So similar looking window. So maybe I'll say I've got 3 estimators. So user-defined fields. User-defined fields, some clients may not even have used. So like in this database, I haven't. So they're all just definable field 1 through 13. These are where you can set up additional fields there again for either putting onto a report somewhere. So maybe I could put it on a report to say, this estimate is based on plans dated as of this date. Or maybe when I'm doing reports, I could say, show me all the schools that are within this particular region or this particular zone, or, things of that nature. So these are just all very powerful for when you get into reporting and those type of things. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I want something for maybe I want a plan date. Well, in the past, these used to just be text fields that somebody could do whatever they want with it. So, someone might enter a date there, someone may not enter a date there. So there again, if you're trying to say, okay, show me all the estimates that are going to be, maybe I had I'm going to come down a few here. Maybe I'm also going to throw out one called maybe I want the estimated start date. So there again, if I was doing a report saying, okay, show me all the estimates that are going to be starting in the next, 6 months or something of that nature for actually doing the project. If it's not a date field, it's difficult to, compare with a calendar and some of those type of games. So now I can come in here and say, okay, well, I really want this to be not text, but I want this to be more of a date prompt. And maybe I want this to be more of a date prompt. Maybe I've got something that like a revision. Well, maybe I want to say revision A, revision B, whatever the case is. So revision, I might just leave that at text. So somebody can enter whatever they want on that type of thing. Maybe I want to have something on here for maybe I got an estimate status. So this estimate status, maybe I want to use a list on it. So a list now changes where I've got some dots on the side here where I can actually go in and there again, kind of build me a list of what do I want to see in that list. So what are my different statuses of estimating or something like that? So maybe I've got let's there again, just kind of making up as I go. So now for estimate status, I can sit there and, yep, that estimate we've got out there to remind us about it, but we're still not even sure if we're going to bid it yet. Or maybe I go through and, yep, we're actually building the estimate that it hasn't come up for bid yet. Or maybe I've submitted my estimate, but we haven't necessarily got the approval or loss flag on it yet. Or, it's been awarded a loss. So there again, making a standardized list. So now if I wanted to do a report, I can very easily say, okay, show me all the estimates that were currently in the building estimate stage to make sure that, all those estimates are getting built before I need to submit the bid to somebody. Or I've got maybe some of these estimates out there that, yeah, we're past the bid date, but no one's really gave us the, have we been awarded it or not? Or they're still pending on it? Is there any follow-up there that I need to do? Or those type of things. Or maybe on, awarded, show me all the different jobs that we've been awarded this year to know, are we more successful in schools this year? Are we more successful restaurants this year? Those type of games. So these can all, by being consistent, can now really elevate my reporting to get this information very consistent. And then I could say maybe something like, maybe I got an engineer estimated value where they give me a dollar amount for what they estimate the project at. And on my dates, I forgot to mention there was 3 dots on my dates that I could go off and say, how do I even want to format that date and so forth. So in my case, I'm going to pick like a month, day, year type of variation. And maybe I'll do the similar thing down there. But you see, you've got a lot of different variations of how you want to see it. Maybe I want it to just be a year, or maybe I want it to be a month spelled out, some of those type of things. Matter of fact, maybe for this estimated start date, maybe I'll do a different one just so that way we can see the differences there a little bit. Okay, so there I've set up some standardizations of what some of that information should be. So I'm going to hit OK to accept it. And now I want to go back to estimating and build a new estimate and see what that information looks like. So if I go into my new estimate here, I'm going to give it a name. I want to pick the database that I made my modifications to. And then I could go through there and pick a branch. So let's just say browse there. And in this case here, I'm just going to pick training sessions and OK. And up should come my estimate cover page. Whoops. Let's close down that and get my cover page back up. Okay, so here we go. Project type. So now instead of just being a field that someone types in, I can go to a drop-down list and actually see that list right there in front of me. So it's very easy to tell what I've got out there and what I still need out there. This one's maybe a grocery store, so I could just pick it. Maybe I need to go through and say that I need to add another one. So maybe I'm looking at that list and I say, well, I've got a retail store here that I want to basically start tracking. So there again, once I get it added, there in my retail stores. Let's see, we also put in a flag for estimator. So I'm Kevin, so I'll put mine in there. But there again, I could click on the dots and actually create a new one right from this window. As I go down farther, here's all those classification ones that we put in. So, we put in a plan date, a revision, estimate status, an engineer estimated value, and a starting date. So let's say that these plans were dated as of when. So it's kind of nice because since it is a date field, I actually give a calendar box if I want to navigate through the calendar and things of that nature. So I can go through there and pick some date off the calendar if I wanted to. Maybe I could go through, and this one was just straight text, so I could just say this is going to be whatever. I could still come back and change these because these are stored on an estimate by estimate basis, so you can come in here, and if I've got admin rights like I do, I can come in here and change these on a job by job basis. But that's the whole point in my mind, is really building them standardized. So, most of these types should probably be left alone. It's going to be more putting information in here, but there you can start to see my estimate status. Yep, I'm just starting to build this estimate. And same type of thing, I should be able to go to the three dots there and create a new one if I need to add a new status for some reason. Let's see, we had a dollar amount, so maybe they said this is some sort of a dollar amount there. And let's go and pick another date here. So let's say the estimated starting date on this is going to be that. And you'll notice that my formats are a little bit different because this one I formatted as 2 characters, month, day, and then my year, versus this one I had the MMMM, that basically spells out the month. So kind of the difference between those, if you don't realize, is, the one with the most M's there basically will spell the month out. If you've got like 3 of them, it'll go ahead and do like abbreviation for it sometimes, those type of things. So there's just all sorts of different combinations there that you can kind of flip around. But the essence here is consistency. Now it really makes it where I can write reports across multiple estimates a lot easier by having information that's very, clean on there. One of the other things that I'd highly recommend if you're going to start doing reports across multiple estimates is also to keep in mind that, a lot of clients, when they build an estimate, I'll have one estimate that I make multiple copies of as we go through multiple revisions and changes and things like that. So you might have 10 estimates out there for the same estimate. So a lot of times somebody will have a flag out there for, is this a reportable estimate or something like that? Or is this a final estimate or something of that nature? So that way I know what is the good estimate out of those 10 estimates. So whatever that flag looks like, and I'd probably recommend some sort of a drop-down box that would actually say maybe awarded and approved for, or maybe not even, I probably wouldn't even mess with that. I'd probably just put another one out there that would have like a, approved for reporting or approved for estimate summaries report or something of that nature. So it makes it pretty easy to flag what estimate should show up on it and keep that consistency and so forth. So pretty cool feature. Very, very powerful to keep consistent and start getting into some better reports for building reports and Power BI dashboards across multiple estimates and things of that nature. That concludes this session, and thanks for watching.